There are two types of people in this world: movers, shakers, and stand-stillers. People that make shift happen while others ask what in the world just happened. Which one are you? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Start Thinking Forward podcast, where we make shift happens. This is a show where we make a difference in our listeners' lives every single day. Want to learn more? Visit us online at www.brandonldraper.com to have an opportunity to connect with a winning team or to attend one of our power-packed events. The Start Thinking Forward podcast was designed for business owners and entrepreneurs looking for a slight edge or unique cutting-edge ideas to take their business to the High Performance League. Your host, Brandon L. Draper, better known as the Motivational King, is a best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, international speaker, business innovator, producer, social media personality, and top leadership development trainer, featured in many news publications around the country. This podcast will deliver high-performance talks to inspire the entrepreneurial spirit within you.
Woo! What's going on, guys? This is the one and only Brandon L. Draper, better known as the Motivational King, coming to you live from the Start Thinking Forward studios. And tonight we have a very powerful show. First and foremost, I want to say happy holidays, but I also want to bring some awareness to this time of the year. They say statistically that the suicide rate goes up. So if you're listening to this, or you got a friend or a family that you have not reached out, that they may be going through something right now, this might be a great opportunity to reach out to them. You never really know what's going on in a person's mind, and oftentimes we can find ourselves in a very dark place. So if you don't have the words for them yourself, maybe you can slip them a number. And I'm going to give you a number real quick, and that's 1-800-273-8255. Again, that number is 1-800-273-8255. And that's the crisis and suicide hotline. There's a lot of people going through some things right now. Put down some of the animosity that you may have for someone. Put down your pride and reach out, because you just never know that sometimes a person's life can be one phone call away, or one podcast away, or one message away, or one talk away from saving someone's life. They can be about to pull the trigger. They can be about to hang themselves, and that phone ringing, that time no one called them, and now they're to that point where they just want to let it all go, and the phone rings or a message comes through, and it just changes the rest of their life. And they may never ever tell you about that moment in their life, but just imagine what you can do just by offering just a little bit of hope and inspiration in someone's life, because you never ever know. A smile means nothing. Happy demeanor means nothing. You never know what's going on in people's mind. Just ask a question. How are you doing? How are you truly doing? Is there anything I need to know? All right, guys, we're going to get ready to start. Tonight's show is about pain. Pain is temporary, but quitting will last forever. In tonight's podcast, my question to you: are you currently dream chasing right now? Right? And the more you seem to dream chase, seems like things still never line up. You got people telling you, hey, it's not working. What are you doing? Who do you think you are to dream? Who are you to go after this? Why can't you be normal like the rest of us, right? So there's some people out there, they're dream chasers. There's things that they want to do. There may be some things out there that they wanted to do since they were little, but time and life has beat them up so bad, they start doubting themselves, right? What is your story, and why does your excuses give you a reason to quit? Why? What is your story? What's so special about your story that gives you an excuse to quit? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. We all have stories. And not to delineate anyone's story, but I guarantee we all have stories. We all have been through something. Some people, in comparison to others, may say, well, mine is just a little bit worse. But my mom always used to tell me, she said, son, let me tell you something. When you think that you've got it bad, there's always someone else that has it just a little bit worse. Count your blessings. Don't count on the things you don't have. Count on the things you do have. So what is your story, and why does your excuse give you a reason to quit? Give you a reason to quit in life? Give you a reason to quit in your relationship? Give you a reason to quit in your business? What excuses are you making? 2018 is approaching. So once more, we have another opportunity, another chance. Just you waking up this morning and listening to this podcast right now gives you another opportunity to make it right. Just another opportunity, right? So you have another opportunity to make an impact, not only in your life, but in the life of others. All right. Let's focus on tonight's show, because we never know that how you can inspire someone else in a positive way, to give your business or relationship just one more chance. If it's hard and you want to give up right now, just give it one more chance. And I have one more question for you. I know there's a lot of you guys right now that's facing so much adversity. So much adversity. Seems like everything is mounting against you. But I got a very unique question that I want you to think about. Now, you may not be able to answer this question right now. And at the conclusion of the show, you may not still be able to answer this question. But I want you to ask yourself this question, and I want you to seriously think about it. Earl Nightingale said this long time ago. He said, the strangest secret is that most people don't think. So I need you to think about this question I'm about to ask you right now, right? I know that you have given it your best. You've given it your best. I know that for a fact. Majority of people that's listening to this right now, I don't know how you're listening to this, but however you're listening to this, either a friend, family, someone shared it with you, you downloaded the app, I don't know. But one thing I know about you is that you've given it your best. But have you given it your all? As we dive deep in these subjects of rejection, self-doubt, limiting beliefs, disappointments, and non-affirming relationships, ask yourself that very question. And if you've never been honest at any point in your life, be honest with yourself. My mother used to tell me, she said, let me tell you something, boy. You can fool everybody else, but the one person you cannot fool is yourself. She says, if you try to trick yourself into believing something you know for a fact is not true, baby, that'll get you in a straitjacket. And let me tell you something. That is so true. You can fool everyone else. You can make everyone else feel a certain way about your situation or where you're at in your life. It's okay to tell other people. But don't try to convince yourself to believe something that is not true, right? You must always maintain the mindset that you are one idea away from transforming your life, and you are. Statistically, they say that on average, we have 2 to 3 dreams a year that if acted upon, it would make us multi-millionaires. It would make us successful in our lives. But most people, through self-doubt, don't even try it. Because maybe the people they're around, or maybe it's their own enemy inside. African proverb says this: if there's no enemy within, then no enemy outside of you can bring harm upon you. What does that mean? It means this. Now, a lot of people hear that, but they don't quite understand what that truly means. Meaning that everyone on the outside can say anything about you, can say you're stupid, you're dumb, you're never going to amount to anything, you're not going to be successful in that. And they can say that. But as long as you don't internalize it, when you start believing what other people are saying, that's the enemy within. See, people can say a lot of things, but what really matters is what you say about yourself, your own self-image. When you start self-doubting yourself, that's when the pieces crumble. That's when the pieces crumble. And that's what this show is about, is helping you to get rid of some of those self-doubting ideas, understand that there are going to be disappointments along the way. And when I say that, it's not just saying it because, oh, I've read that in a book. No, this is life experiences, not just my life experiences. I've dedicated a large portion of my life studying those that are successful. That's why I position and poise myself where I'm able to give people advice about their business. I'm considered to be an expert, not because I know it all, but I'm an expert because I failed a lot and I learned a lot. And I've been studying successful people. I had to put down some of my own, ambitions and things about myself to humble myself and really find out what success looks like. What does it take to be successful, right? So before we go any further in the show, please, I can't say this enough. Please share this. I really can't say it enough. Please share this. Social media outlets. I don't know how you may be listening right now. Hopefully you're listening to the app. We have our app up tonight. Please go to www.drapertalkradio.com and download our app for Google and also for the Apple Store. And make sure to follow us. So, man, when we update these shows, you'll be the first one to know about them. Just like this show. And I hope it serves you tonight. I hope it helps you. I don't know what you may be going through right now, but hopefully this is the medicine that you need to help you to say, let me try it one more time. Right? All right. So I always like to start the show off with quotes. We haven't even dived deep. So the first quote is, life begins at the edge of your comfort zone, but navigating the balance between pushing the limits of what's comfortable and taking unmitigating risks can be tough. See, when you're in a position in your life where you feel like everything's against you, you feel like you have no support from nowhere, but you still got to push yourself and take a risk that involves money that you really don't have, a risk that takes you putting yourself what I call the imposter syndrome, where you believe you're not even good enough to be there, that somehow you're going to be found out. There's so many people today, they have that syndrome of being an imposter. Well, I'm going to be found out. I don't have the credentials to be here. Well, if you think in your mind and you believe in your heart that you deserve to be there, let me tell you, you deserve to be there. Stop underestimating yourself and thinking that you're an imposter for being there. Just like anyone else can be there, you can be there too. Now, this is not just to pump you up or to give you some fluffery to say, oh yeah, just believe and you're going to achieve it. No, meaning that if your heart is in alignment with I should be here. I know I deserve to be here. I deserve to have this type of life. I want this type of life. Then I'm telling you, you're not an imposter. It's not fake it till you make it. And that's a whole nother show. Don't fake it till you make it. Just create it. Say that with me. Don't fake it till you make it. Just create it. You don't have to fake it till you make it. So many people are out there telling you, fake it till you make it. It's okay to know. You don't have to fake nothing that's already in your heart. Something that you believe in, your passion, something that you were ordained, birthed on this earth to do. You don't have to fake it. The only thing you have to do is create it. We are creators. You are a creator, right? So, and that's by Elise Strutton. And she's the founder of My Cupcake Addiction, right? Life begins at the edge of your comfort zone, but navigating the balance between pushing the limits of what's comfortable and taking unmitigating risks can be tough, right? The second quote, because I have to drive deep in this to make sure, because oftentimes it's one thing to hear from someone, but when you hear about successful people and the stories and ideas that they've come up with, sometimes it can help us along the journey, because sometimes in our own minds we feel as if we're all alone. It's just me. That all this trouble and woe that's coming my way is just me. Oh me, oh my. And it's completely the opposite of that. The second quote is this. It said, failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker. Failure is delay, not defeat. It is a temporary detour, not a dead end. Failure is something we can avoid only by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. And that's by Dennis Waitley. And that touches me. And I hope you felt that, because it's certain words have power in them. They really do. And the second part of that says failure is something we can avoid only by what? 1, saying nothing, doing nothing, and the worst of them all, being nothing. Some of us are so afraid of living out what it is that we're going after because we're afraid of what other people would think of their ideas or belief of us. So we settle to be nothing. We settle to do nothing. And we settle to say nothing. That is a life not for me, and hopefully not for you. You have to live a life that is designed for you, a life that you want, not what someone else wants for you. Someone else can't live through you. You must live through yourself. And that, my friend, ladies and gentlemen, that is the most important thing there is in life. Real quick, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to get ready to dive deep into this talk. All right, guys.
In school they taught us to think what they want us to believe. I'm coming out of that dream.
Wake up.
Things aren't what they seem.
Wake up.
And now that I see it, seems like we're losing the fight.
Don't know if we can make it.
It's more than just black and white.
It's easy to mistake it.
I'm tired of being polite.
You know you just can't fake it.
Something is wrong. It's time we make it right. And maybe it's true that we can't help being the way that we are. I feel like a fool that lost himself in a world that's falling apart. Maybe it's true that we can't help. Someone's got to try. So busy thinking about ourselves, never asking why. This world today, there's so much sadness and sorrow. Stop waiting for tomorrow. They made us want to compete.
See what you want and take
New
it.
kind of humanity.
Only the strongest make it.
The weekend up on the street.
This is a price worth paying.
When something is wrong, what will it take to make you see? And maybe it's true that we can't help being the way that we are. Feel like a fool that lost himself in a world that's falling apart. Maybe it's true that we can't help. Someone's got to try. So busy thinking about ourselves, never asking why. This world today, there's so much sadness
stop waiting. Why would you have a world full of sadness? Why would you always got to put each other down? Be a change maker. Make shift happen. It's time to shift gears in your life and shift gears in the life of others. Make a positive impact and change in people's lives. I challenge you. That's the ultimate challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we are just full of ourselves, to be honest with you. So sometimes we got to be honest and transparent. And, it's hard. It's difficult. Whatever you're going through, let me tell you something. I don't care what it looks like on the exterior and that's the worst thing to do is compare your life to others. Right? And oh man, it's so poisonous to compare. Well, so-and-so is doing this and they're at this place in their life. So what? Stop comparing yourself with them. Stay in your own lane and don't use no turn signals. Right? Keep your foot on the gas and stay in your own lane and don't use no turn. You don't need to be going to nobody else's lane and no one else needs to be getting in your lane. Right? Stop comparing yourself to other people because what it does is makes you depressed. People get on social media and they look at other people. Some people that it's just an image. It's not even real. Right? So don't compare yourself because you really don't know what they're going through, one, and if they have that type of level of success in their life, you do not know what they had to go through to get there. All right. So, I like Oprah. There's a lot of people that listen to Oprah, but let me tell you something. Some of the things Sister Girl went through, oh, no. You can keep that money. You know what I'm saying? So not all money is good. You never know what what hell they had to go through to get it. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop looking at someone else's family. Oh my God, I wish I could have that. And then you post up, look, just create it. You don't have to fake it and you don't have to imitate it. You don't have to envy it. All you got to do is create it. Just say, I'm a creator. I am a creator. I don't have to envy no one. I don't have to make up. I can just create. See, when people look at you and they see that you're a creator, they want to hover around you because they see that you are creating stuff, right? In today's society, it seems that failure tends to be more public than success. You can have all the success in the world and you mess up one time. Someone finds something, just a little something, and they're gonna go and propagate that everywhere. Right? So failure tends to be more public than success, right? Get your mind out of that mindset where thinking that, it's okay for people to be successful. It's okay for you to be successful and for you to help bring unity. Let's come together. Let's build something great together. We don't have to always compete with each other because half the times we're competing with each other and we're not even in the same fields, which is crazy to me. All right? Or at least, I would say, that's what we perceive it to be, is that failure tends to be more publicized than success. We fret it, we try to avoid it, and we question ourselves every time we have an unconventional idea. Anytime that something that most people wouldn't see it as conventional, you're not being conventional right now. The right way to do it is to go to college. The right way to do it is to get a 9-to-5. And if you're not talking in that type of language to certain people, they look at you as you're very unconventional. Oh, there you go. You one of them schemers and dreamers and wanna believers, But in actuality, you just may be different. It's okay for you to be different. Now, understand when you're different, you're going to have different problems. You're going to have different issues. You're going to have different scenarios than most people. And when you ask for help, they may not be willing to give you the help because they cannot identify the problems that you're having the same to be as their problems that they're having because they're following a more conventional track, right? So we fret it, we try to avoid it. We don't want to be different, right? But the simple truth is this: no great success was ever achieved without failure. So if you're listening to this, you got to understand that whatever failure you had, it was necessary, right? It caused you to do what? It caused you to think. You had to get creative. You had to get innovative, right? So no great success was ever achieved without failure. You're going to fail along the way. Failing, these are not people. These are temporary situations that can be overcome. It may be one epic failure, right? Let's look at Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, right? So you're talking about a guy that decided that he wanted to open up he wanted to launch his own spaceship, a rocket, into space. Most people look at him like, dude, isn't that what NASA does? What in the world are you thinking? You made all this money over here in Tesla. You're doing real good. Why would you take your money and go over here? He had friends. Listen to me. He had friends, people that he believed that had his best interest in heart, made a video, hour-long plus video of rockets exploding. Say, hey, man, I don't want you to lose everything. You don't need to explore on this. Now, long story short, if you don't know who Elon Musk is or know about, some of the things he's done, let me give you just a quick snapshot. So they were only supposed to launch 3 times, right? First time, epic fail. Second time, epic fail. Third time, epic fail, right? So now they're getting ready to pull the contract. So he had 3 failures. All his friends and family, people are starting to turn their head like, hey, man, what are you doing? Because this is it. This is it. You're getting ready to be in the soup kitchen, brother. Like, this is it. You've sacrificed everything. You don't have nothing else. And you know what this guy does? He musters up whatever resources he could, and he launched for the 4th time. Now, this launch on the 4th time definitely meant homelessness. Okay? It is guaranteed. It was guaranteed. He knew it, that some of his family that really believed in him, who sacrificed their money, have an affirming relationship, not non-affirming, but having family and friends surrounding him that truly believed in what he was doing, sacrificed a lot of their finances and time to help him, to the point that if this thing failed this last time, he wouldn't even have a place to stay because half his family would be homeless themselves. And on that 4th launch, they made it. And they got millions, billion-dollar contracts from NASA. And like they say, the rest is history, right? But the simple truth, there's no great success was ever achieved without failure, right? Or a series of failures, such as Edison's 10,000 attempts to create a light bulb. Or what about this? And this is a story that most people don't even know about. What about Dyson? Yeah, you guys with the vacuum cleaner, Dyson, right? What about Dyson's 5,126 times attempt to invent a bagless vacuum cleaner? What if he had just given up? All right? What if he had just given up? My famous epic story that I share in my book is a story about Albert Einstein. I'm sharing these stories with you because I don't know where you're at, but I'm trying to give you some people that you maybe can relate to, because guess what? You may not have known these things. You may not have known that Albert Einstein, the genius that we know him today, right? He's contributed so much to science and mathematics. There could have been a strong possibility that we would not have known him if he had decided to listen to other people around him, family and friends, and say, look, I know you got all these crazy, strange ideas, and you think you're going to be somebody, but nah, you need to go ahead and get you a job, man. That patent office stuff not working. That's where he worked at. He worked at a patent office. Then the next thing was, hey, man, you can make a good living being an insurance agent. Now, I'm not knocking anyone that's listening, just talking about insurance. I've done my share of insurance myself. Not knocking that at all. But just imagine the greatest mind that we know in scientific and mathematical history were to lessen himself, and would he ultimately created simply be a salesperson to sell insurance. Wow. What is it that you have in you that you have not birthed right now, and people are telling you to get an abortion? Think about that. What is it in you right now? What is it in you right now that has not been birthed? That has not been birthed. No one has ever seen it, but you believe it. But people around you are telling you to have an abortion with your dream, that your dream is not worth birthing, that it's not worth living and chasing it, telling you to let it go. What is it right now that you have not birthed in you right now that you need to birth, that you need to go after, no matter how hard or difficult it takes? I know for a fact you may have given it your best, but I'm asking you right now, if you've given it your all, give it your ultimate. A.L. Williams had this saying, he says, all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. If you have not given it all you got, and you still got some more, if you ain't left it all on the field, then you better get your butt back out there and grind it out some more. That's what I'm telling you right now, because that's what it's going to take to be successful. That's what it's going to take your business, your life, your relationship to the next level. That is what it's going to take, right? Self-doubt. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we might find by fearing to attempt. Read that to you one more time. Our doubts are traitors. They're betraying you every day. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we might win by fearing to attempt, by fearing to even start. And that's by William Shakespeare. And that's straight out of Measure for Measure. I'm a big Shakespearean. I love Shakespeare's work. Think about that, guys. Our doubts are traitors. They're betraying you every single day. What you think you can't do, right? The doubts other people have of you, what they think you can't do, what they think you're not capable of. They're betraying you with their thoughts and ideas and non-support. But what are you going to do? Guess what? They're doing it because they're supposed to do it. That should be your fuel to carry on. That should be your fuel to take it to the next level. Don't let nobody stop you. So what? So what? There's countless stories of this. It doesn't stop. You're not the only one. Right? And the next story I'm going to share with you right now is one of the most epic stories of the 21st century, I would say. Now, check this out, guys. There's a lot of people that fail at a lot of things, right? And there's a lot of people say, well, my situation is unique, right? But a lot of times, if we listen and hear these stories, we will see that we share a lot in common. May different, there's a little difference. I can go through a whole list of failures. I can talk about failures in relationships. I can talk about failure in business. I can talk about failure in finances. Failure not being able to do certain things that I want to do, right? We can talk about those things, but what do we have? Do we still have our ambition? Do we still have the heart? Do we still have determination to keep on pushing, even though those things have hit us, right? Let's talk about the Airbnb story. You know, how 3 ordinary guys disrupted an industry, but it didn't start off like that, made billions and created plenty of controversy along the way. Keyword controversy. Now, what does controversy mean? I mean, a lot of crap. Back in the days, they call it muckraker, right? Mixing up crap, right? They created a lot of controversy, right? But what did they do? They won. They won. Look at what Airbnb is doing right now. The Airbnb founder story is one of the most inspiring stories, literally of the 21st century. And I got to be honest with you. Against all odds, keyword there, against all odds, right? With no investors and thousands of dollars of credit card debt. These guys were literally paying things with credit cards, meaning they had a big binder that had all these cards in it, and they were paying things with their card. They're paying for the website. They were paying for things that they needed. They were paying for resources. They were paying for with credit cards. So with thousands and thousands of dollars of credit card debts, the founders had to resort to selling cereal. Did you know that? How many of you guys be willing to do that? How many of you guys be willing to watch your friends have you stand at the corner somewhere and sell cereal or a wristband to make your dream come true? You know what? Because we got too much pride. We're thinking about what other people are going to think of us. Keeping up appearances. I don't care about keeping up appearances. I've already been down to the valley. Now it's time to get on the hill. I don't care what people think about me when I'm trying to chase after my dream. As long as I'm doing everything ethically and legally, why do I care what other people think? Because guess what? Other people are not going to see your vision, right? God didn't give them your vision. He gave it to you. So if he gave it to you, why are you worrying about what other people think? They're not supposed to understand it because they weren't given it. You were. So it's up to you. If God gave that to you, it's up to you to make it work, not someone else. Some people say, well, I got to do everything by myself. And I found myself saying, oh, man, I got to do everything. I don't got no help. I'm not supposed to have no help. Look, if I get people that see my vision and come alongside of me and want to work with me, great and awesome. And I would love that. But if no one ever comes, I'm supposed to do this by myself. I'm supposed to do it because it was given to me. This dream wasn't given to multiple people. It was given to me, just like it was given to you. What is it that you're sleeping on right now? Because you're worried about what other people think. What's stopping you? It's money, resources. When you lack resources, get resourceful. There's ways that you can do it. Start dreaming again. And I don't mean that as a cliche way when I say start dreaming again. Oh, start dreaming again. No. Start dreaming again. Stop seeing yourself having what you thought you could have back in the day. See, back in the day when you were younger, you dreamed about all possibilities. Now life beats you up a little bit, kicked you in the stomach. Now you on some, you balled over like you got, diarrhea and ulcers. Get up. Face life again. Start dreaming and see the possibilities. And see within every negativity is a positive. There's something that you can learn. There's something you can build off of. And guess what? Then the negativity doesn't necessarily become a negativity anymore. It becomes a positivity. Because now you're charged up because what you thought was negative matter really is positive matter. Now you're able to grow. Right? So let's get back to this Airbnb story. Right? So the founders had to react to selling cereals to keep their company afloat, right? It took almost 2 years before Airbnb saw any type of traction, right? So the Airbnb founder story is one of persistence, okay? They had the persistence of determination, fear, and most of all, hustle, right? They were sitting in there, and one of the founders' mother's parents' house, and they're talking about this business. They're going to revolutionize the hotel industry, the hospitality industry, and the next thing you know, they're bringing in hundreds and hundreds of boxes of cereal. They're burning themselves with some hot glue that make put these cereal boxes together. And you know what? Their mama looking at them, but I got to give her credit. She was looking at them and said, well, are you in the cereal business now? What are you guys doing? And now we're just trying to make some things work. We're just trying to make things work. So sometimes people look at what you're doing and they say, oh, you're not focused. You're not laser targeted. But right now you got to step to the side just a little bit, tweak some stuff so you can keep the dream alive. Right? Because if you were given, let me tell you something, a lot of people, like to claim that. But I'm here to tell you, if you were given vision, then you will be given provision. Right? If you were given the vision, you're going to be given provision. But guess what? It's not going to be given to you per se. It's not going to be given. You're going to have to grind for it. You have to work for it. You have to get creative. You have to get innovative. There's ways that you can make it happen, but it's not going to be something that gets handed to you. That's why everyone don't follow their dream. That's why everyone doesn't follow their passion. The word passion, if you break it down, it means to suffer. What are you willing to suffer through to get to? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to suffer through? If you're not willing to suffer through it, stop calling things your passion. Because if you're not willing to suffer, then would you suffer to get the humiliation of having to sell cereal to make your business work? Right? Would you be willing to do that? Right? So let's go back to the start. So it was late 2007 in San Francisco that Airbnb founders Brian Chesky and Joe, I think his name was Gibba, just moved from New York without any employment, right? They were having trouble paying their rent, and they were looking for a way to earn some extra cash. So they found themselves in a situation, said, man, look, we don't got no job. As you already know, being up north is very expensive. How do we earn some extra cash, right? So they noticed all hotels room in the cities were booked. Bam, here comes an idea. So, and there was a international design conference, that brought a lot of visitors there, all the hotels booked. So now this idea of why don't we rent out some space in our house, right? They saw a problem, right? Well, they had two problems. One, they had a problem because they didn't have no rent money, right? They didn't have no money to eat. Two, they saw a problem where all the hotels would book up and there was a big convention coming with no one to stay, right? So They saw an opportunity, right? So they brought a few, listen to this, they bought a few what? Not beds, not twin beds, not a bed, but a air bed. And quickly put up a site called Air, Bed, and Breakfast. That's what they did. All right. The idea was to offer visitors a place to sleep and breakfast in the morning. They charged $80 each a night. The idea succeeded, and the first Airbnb guest was born. A 30-year-old Indian man, a 35-year-old woman from Boston, and a 45-year-old father of 4 from Utah sleeping on their floor. That was the birth of Airbnb. Very simple. Now, people on the outside looking at that would say, these guys are crazy. You invited perfectly good strangers into your home to sleep on air mattresses. First of all, you're crazy for inviting them there. And they're crazy enough to come and sleep on air mattresses and pay $80 a night for it. But they did. All right. Soon after, we got another young person that joined the team, was a Harvard graduate and technical architect, Nathan, joined the team as the third co-founder. So now the three are there. All right, the Trinity is there. All right, they faced a major problem. The site only had 2 users at the time, and one of them was Nathan, the new founder. Right? They initially launched at one of the other conferences and only received 2 bookings. Epic fail, guys. Epic fail, meaning like, okay, it costs money. So number 1, you're still not employed. That's 1. 2. You still got to pay rent. 3, you got to pay for a website, the hosting, the whole 9. And they still only have 2 users on there, and they only received 2 bookings. All right. After changing the website, the company launched again in 2008, right? Not long before the DNC conference in Denver. The first commitment on the launch the first comment on the launch publication on TechCrunch illustrates what people thought of their idea, and what it was is that it sucked, right? The idea was to cater to thousands of people that came to the convention, Obama supporters at the time, hosting Obama supporters, and over 600 people stayed at Airbnbs. But there were still people saying this is crazy, there's criminals, it's unconventional, it shouldn't work, you shouldn't do this. People were advocating against them. They didn't want it to work. So over 600 people stayed at Airbnbs, but the success was what? Short-lived once again. As Airbnb founder Brian said, it just went away once again. This is third. Now we've done 2-3 different events, and it still failed. We had all these people show up, and now we're back to zero again. We're breaking even all the credit card, all the stuff we had to do, the infrastructure. And, when you're building a system, especially when you come to a technology-based system, it costs a lot of money, right? So Airbnb founders managed to make a whopping $30,000 selling the Obama O's and Captain McCain cereals, right? But guess what? Now people say, "Oh man, that's a head up. Oh man, that you're doing good." No, that was just to get them out of debt. All right. So. And let me tell you something, guys. You can actually go on YouTube and look at some of these videos that they had, the jingles that they had for the Obamas. So long story short, they sold all the Obama O cereals. They did not sell them the Captain McCain cereals. And guess what? Subsequently, they were out of money once again. And guess what they were eating? They didn't have no money, no food to eat. So they guess the only thing they could eat was eating the Captain McCain cereal. They were eating that because that's all they had, because no one bought those. And then before they knew it, someone was copying the cereal. So they really didn't make a lot of money like they thought they were, right? But let's just go and jumpstart a little bit more. All right, so Airbnb raised its first funding, $20,000 from the Y contributor. They also still making they were still making only about $200 a week, and decided to use the money to travel to New York, to the biggest market, to meet their users. They discovered that the main problem is that the pictures of most of the listings weren't good, so they identified a problem. See, some of you guys, you don't realize you got a problem, you ain't identified it yet. So you're figuring out why my business is not working, why is my relationship not working, what is the underlying problem, right? So now they were willing to invest in themselves to find out what may be the problem, right? They bought a camera and went door to door taking pictures of the listings. In January 2010, and invited 3 founders to join the winter session for the 3 months of training. At the same time, Paul Graham at Y Contributor tries to convince venture capitalist Fred Wilson to invest in Airbnb. Amazingly, right, Graham and Wilson decides to pass on the deal. So this big funder, right then, you think you got it. Oh my God, I got it. All I need to do is get this one client. All I need is this one deal to go through. And guess what? It still didn't go through. Missing out on what could have been a huge winner. That's what he did. So Wilson lost out. All right, so after meeting Chelsea and Co., he asked them to leave a box of the famous cereals. The box now serves as a reminder for Wilson not to make this mistake again, as he describes. All right, so after visiting their user in New York, the company finally gets some traction and focus is changed from shared spaces to all types of accommodation. It's March of 2009, and Airbnb has 2,500 listings and close to 100,000 registered users. And as they say, the rest is history. All right. The most recent statistics that I pulled online shows that Airbnb now has over 2 million listings in over 190 countries and 34,000 cities. Airbnb hosts have hosted over 40 million guests. The company is worth an estimated $25.5 billion. Woo! What if they'd given up? What if the cereal was too much? What if it was too much for their ego? What if the mother just said, y'all need, hey, look, either you're going to get a job. Listen to me, Brian. Listen to me, Wilson. Either you guys are going to get a job or you're getting out of my house. Because I'm not supporting this dream chasing. Right? See, that's when we go back to the non-affirming relationship. It's not healthy to have non-affirming relationships. Let me tell you something. If you're a person that's not really a visionary, you're kind of like a realist, it's okay. I get it. But when you're around a dreamer, keep your comments to yourself. It's not okay for you to kill someone's dream just because you don't see it. Maybe it's not meant for you to see. Maybe just keep your opinions to yourself. You don't have to understand it. But if that's somebody you care about, that you love, support their dream. No matter how crazy it may sound to you, it makes perfectly good sense to them. Now, people may disagree with that, and that's okay if you disagree with that. But when you do that, you drive a wedge between relationships with people, because if someone truly believes in something and they're willing to die for it, and you come in the middle of that and try to interrupt that, that can be a potential problem. Right? So you got to get past that. And one of the biggest things that I see a lot of people do is because of what other people say, they have limiting beliefs of their own capability based on what other people think. So what someone tells you to your face, they don't believe in what you do. They don't care about what you do. They want to live through you telling you what you should do instead of supporting you in what you want to do. Right? And let me tell you something. Non-support is a type of support as well. So there's people out there that don't offer no support verbally, or they do things kind of like on a slick slide. What is the slick slide, you may ask? The slick slide is when, someone, let's just say, for instance, you're in business for yourself and you're an entrepreneur and you're working and you're grinding it out, and someone tells you, hey man, I believe in what you're doing, but hey, can you send me a copy of your resume? I'm gonna forward something for you. Well, are you really supporting me, or are you just saying, well, some people take that both ways. One is that you care enough about me that you don't want to see me hurt myself. And two, I see it as you don't really support me, believe in what I'm doing. So you want to make sure, because I don't know what I'm doing, so you give me a plan B. But I'm stuck on plan A. See, but I'm not telling you to do that. If you're listening to this, don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to do that, because I've went through some traumatic pain as a result of thinking that way, right? Because I believed in my dreams so much. Now, look, I've gotten a lot of traction. I'm not nowhere near where I want to be, but I've gotten a lot of traction. But at the same time, I had to lose a lot of things along the way, right? I've lost property, right? I've lost I've been humiliated. I've been hurt. My ego's been attacked. My pride has been assaulted, right? I've been in some real painful situation as a result of me going after a dream. All right. I faced homelessness before. I've lost everything. Right. Didn't even have an iron to knock out wrinkles of my clothes. Right. So I've been there, and I know how people will treat you when you're in that situation, because they feel as if they can control you. And they're telling you, hey, we better leave that idea alone. Look where it got you. It got you poor. But see, anything worth having is worth fighting for. I always tell people that. My mom used to tell me that every day. Anything worth having is worth fighting. If you're not willing to fight for it, it ain't worth having. It's worth fighting. Having your dreams is worth fighting. But what are you willing to go through to get it? That's the question. Be honest with yourself, right? If you really love something, see, the definition of love, there's so many definitions, but unconditional, unwavering love. Love doesn't mean like I love you up until the point. You can't love your dream or love your passion up until the point you lose something, or you lose a relationship, or you lose property, or you're losing money. Then that's when your love starts dwindling away. Love is not like a light switch, right? So you got to maintain and still keep going on despite the situation. Well, this is my passion. I'm in love with this. I'm not going nowhere, but I'm sleeping in my car. How many entrepreneurs, how many business successful people we know today is like that, right? We got Steve Harvey. He just mentioned it in one of his books not too long ago, where he talked about how many years he spent in his car trying to follow a dream, to make it fruition, to make it real to him. You got a guy like Tyler Perry. I believe he's a billionaire now. And he was homeless, sleeping on the streets, sleeping behind a church. He was willing to do any and everything to make his dreams a reality. So sometimes we got to stop faking it. This is real. I'm passionate about this because I've lived this. If being addicted, if I'm an addict, if you can say that, okay, I'm an addict for being addicted to business, then I'm found guilty. Because I'm addicted to this. I'm addicted to going after my dreams. I'm addicted to changing my life and the life of others. I'm addicted to changing the dynamics of my family. I'm addicted to leaving a legacy. I'm addicted to helping people, and nothing or nobody's ever going to change that. Nothing or anyone. Let me tell you something. Get in the way and get mowed down, because I'm determined. And the only way I'm ever going to leave this platform, the only way you're never, ever going to hear my voice is when they put me in the dirt, man. And I'm taking a dirt nap. And I'll probably still come in your dreams and tell you, this is the motivational king. Don't believe me. Just keep watching. I just can't stop. And that's how it got to be to you, burning in you. Got to sleep on my friend's couch. Let me shout out some love to my friend, Damian Young. I love you, brother. And I'm going to tell you what, and let me tell you something. I'm very transparent because I went through a transition. I think some people need to hear that. Let me tell you something. He was there for me. He was there for me. I slept on his brother's couch when I lost everything, right? I lost everything. But the one thing I didn't lose was my dignity. One thing I didn't lose was a good friend. And sometimes all we need is a good friend. And Damien, he's not only my friend, but he's someone I consider my brother. And I know he's listening right now. And I just want to tell you publicly, I love you, man. I love everything about you. And I want you to continue dream chasing. Let me tell you something. The best photographer in the world, in my eyes, this brother did a lot of work for me. And I advocate for him because he always advocated for me. And I'll take that to the grave. I really appreciate you for being there for me. Never judged me. Never even asked me more than 2 questions. Really never asked me more than 1. And I really appreciate that. You were really there for a difficult time for me. And that's a part of that disappointment, being disappointed in yourself to the point you got too much pride to ask for help, right? But having people, having your Damien, having that person that is never going to judge you, that's always going to support you. And I'm not leaving anyone out. There's a lot of people that's in my life currently and in the past that have contributed to who I am today. And I want to say that I greatly appreciate that. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the things you poured into me, all the times that you've helped me. My children, the mother of my children. I greatly appreciate you and all that you do to continue to provide for my children. So I don't take anything lightly, and I don't take life lightly. I take everything very serious. And I know the importance of having certain key people, relationships is very important if you truly want to be successful in this lifetime. Now, we've talked about a lot of things today. We really did. We really did. And I appreciate you hanging in there with me, right? And we're going to go get ready to wrap it up real quick. So, we talked about the rejection, that you're going to be rejected. It's okay to be rejected. So many people that have come before you have been rejected. It's nothing new. You've got to keep on going when the going gets tough. I know that sounds cliches, but it does. Meaning that success, let me tell you something, success is right on the other side. Everything you want is on the other side of fear, right? Jack Canfield said that, right? He said everything you want is on the other side of fear. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Keep saying it to yourself. Go to bed with that. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. What it is that you fear the most? You fear talking to people. You fear picking up the phone, talking to a relationship you need to mend. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. What you fear the most, I promise you, once you start doing it, it's not as scary as you even thought. Go after it. Do it because they said you couldn't, which brings my next point. Guys, March 24th, spread it loud, far, across country. I don't care. Let me tell you something. If you really want to change your life and you want to hear, not just from me, but some other pioneers, right? I need you to block your calendar out for March 24th. Saturday, March 24th, 2018, right? We're going to be in Decatur at the 3D Church, and we're going to pump it out. The event is Do It Because They Said You Couldn't. That's what I said. I said, do it because they said you couldn't. They told you couldn't do it, so you're going to do it any old way. That's what that event's going to be from 2 to 8. We got professional football player from the Falcons. We got a professional baseball player. We got Odd Squad family coming all the way from Arizona. Them brothers are blowing up. Independent artists. And they got a song that I love. I try to tell them about this $1 Million Plan. And oh my God, them brothers are positive and they're big now. What's so unique about this event, right? First of all, the name, Do It Because They Said You what? Couldn't. That's the first unique thing about it. Second very unique thing about it is this group of guys that come all the way from Arizona to perform and also talk a little about their story. We got some interesting characters. One of the young men that's a part of this group was born with no hands and no feet, but when you see him, he be moving. Y'all get that when y'all hear that song. But these brothers are doing it. Our Squad family is a much love. Shout out to them. They're going to be in the house March 24th, 2018. And I know my brother Rob is up here, so I know he's into music. So Rob, go look that up. Go online, look up. Everybody looking at this, go to Odd Squad Family. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. Go look them up. Hear some of their music. See what these brothers, see what you're gonna be prepared for. So, so they Odd Squad because one, no arms, right? No legs. The other brothers are albino, born with no pigmentation, and we ain't figured out, the new brother A Factor with his what he's battling, but I think he's kind of more of an introvert or whatever. But these are cool brothers that really bring a different fresh air to an industry, to a place, and I mean what they stand for is the epitome of this event. Do it because they said you couldn't. Get your tickets right now. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. All you gotta do is type in Start Thinking Forward Inc. or Do It Because They Said You Couldn't. You got these wristbands as well. Wristbands. I will put out the website, but we ain't got that stuff tied in yet. We got to do some more taping on that. But we got wristbands. Do it because they said you couldn't. It's very important. You got to tell your kids. You got to tell your family. You got to tell your loved ones. Do it because they told you couldn't. There's someone right now that's listening to this right now that want to go to law school. Someone told you that you couldn't do it. Do it because they said you couldn't. There's someone listening to this right now that wants to go to medical school that told you couldn't do it. The professor told you couldn't do it. Your mama, your daddy, your cousin and them told you couldn't do it. I'm telling you, do it because they said you couldn't, right? There's somebody that said that they wanted to write a book and someone told them you can't write no book. You don't know how to write. You're not a good writer. How are you ever going to be an author? Do it because they said you couldn't. Someone out there that wants to start a business right now and everyone around them don't believe in that. Tell them you need to get a job. And they tell you that you can't do it because no one in the family's ever done that. Do it because they said you couldn't, right? I want you to do it just because they said you, not to prove a point, but to prove it to yourself. Ain't about proving nothing to nobody else. Do it because they said you couldn't. But you know you got the heart to do it. That you know you are made to do it. Hey guys, I love you. I enjoyed this time with you. Let me tell you something. It's your time to win. It's your season. Happy holidays from the Start Thinking Forward family. This is Brandon L. Draper, better known as the Motivational King. Don't believe me? Just keep on watching.
Thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Start Thinking Forward show and supporting our message of hope and inspiration. We hope this message has truly served and impacted your life in a positive way. In a world full of distractions, disappointments, and a multitude of pains, we must reflect on the fact of what we have, then on the notion of what we don't. So my challenge to you is simple. You may be having that age-old question pondering in your head at this current moment. How can I help? Well, here's your opportunity to make a difference in this world one person at a time by joining forces with the Motivational King. When you share this unique message throughout various social media platforms, you could be potentially saving a life, encouraging a business owner to give it another push, or simply allowing a child to believe they can achieve anything with the correct mindset and the desire to win. Friends, family, and associates all need to hear this message of hope. So be a flare and share because you truly care. Don't be antisocial. Follow us on Facebook at The Real Motivational King or visit our website at www.brandonldraper.com. Thank you.